What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the triple buffed Late Guardian trio in the Open Great League, as they all have access to Swift, which is now a 35 energy charge move, making them a lot more viable than in previous seasons, as it only takes 3 confusions to make it to that Swift. Now, is this change actually enough to make them any good? Well, I certainly would not recommend using them all together, especially on the same team, as there's a reason people have run this trio in multiple Battle of Spice competitions. It is so hard to get a win with this trio. Now, before I did any battles, I was thinking, if I can avoid dark types and ghost types, which of course are going to slaughter this team, if I can get into some decent neutral matchups, then maybe there's a chance that this team can do fairly well. But in these 6 sets I did with this team, I think about 23 of the teams I faced had at least one dark or one ghost type Pokemon, and as a result I had a miserable time. But I did still pick up some very impressive wins against the likes of Mandibuzz and Drifblim, so stick around to see those battles. And with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What is your favourite legendary trio currently available in Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comment section down below, let me know why, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, leading Mesprit into Clodsire. So this is an absolutely great matchup for us, but Blizzard is going to take an absolute eternity to get to. So instead of using a shield there, shielding up the Earthquake or letting it go through and taking big damage, we're going to swap into our damage sponge on the team, which is Uxie. And by the way, if you don't know, Uxie is very bulky, itself very attack weighted, and then Mesprit is sort of just somewhere in the middle in terms of the bulk. We're now going to farm up, go for a Thunder here. Thunder not going to do that much damage, but it does grab a shield from the Mandibuzz. I don't really know if I wanted a shield or if I wanted to just land that damage there. They go for a Dark Pulse, they're going to take us out there, we're going to come back in with the Mesprit, we're still not able to make it to a Blizzard, but this is just the Aerial Ace. So Aerial Ace is going to be no shielded, they swap back into Clodsire, and I don't want to waste the energy there throwing a Blizzard to take out the Clodsire, so instead we're going to swap into a Zelf, shield up the Earthquake there, go for the Confusion Farm down, and the opponent comes in with a Shadow Machamp, and that is absolutely huge for me. The opponent recognizing their Machamp has no play into this team, but they lose CMP. They probably didn't realize that was going to happen, so Swift gets the KO here, and I'm pretty sure I have a Blizzard banked on my Mesprit. I wasn't certain if it would fully one-shot them, but certainly after landing a Swift from RSL, this is definitely Blizzard range. My win condition here is just to let them farm me down, as we're gonna win CMP with the Mesprit. Blizzard gets the KO up against the Mandibuzz, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's top opponent there. Obviously we did rely on the fact that 2 of their Pokemon were weak to Confusion, but still very nice to beat a Mandibuzz with this team. However, this is a more accurate representation of how these battles went when I went up against a Dark type Pokemon. So unfortunately the opponent does shield up a Swift from the Mesprit. Uxie again, the damage sponge, I can no shield. I expected a Trailblaze there because they probably recognize already, they've seen 2 of the Late Guardians. I'm probably going to have a Zelf in the back, and unfortunately they do recognize that. They're going to shield, they're also going to boost up their attack once again. A second Trailblaze means a Zelf not even going to make it to a Swift, and we're going to get fully swept by a single low kick. So that is pretty embarrassing, but GG's to that opponent there. I hope they had a good time in that battle. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Galarian Moltres. Very nice flex though, a shiny, and it gets very close to 1500 CP as well, which is cool to see. This was one of the earlier battles, so I was actually running Uxie in the lead in this battle, which is pretty handy for us because I didn't expect them to go for a Brave Bird there. We can now full send the Thunder, but again, not that much damage there despite being super effective, and it doesn't put them into Confusion Farm down range. This time I expect the Brave Bird, and it is the Brave Bird. They're now going to come in with a Gastrodon, so I'm going to go for 2 Confusions, fire off the Swift. If they commit to a full farm down, then I should make it to another Swift. I'm definitely not making it to a Blizzard there, so I might as well just go for the Confusion, go for the Swift, but they will be able to go for a very nice Mudslap farm down. I mean, nice for them, not very nice for me, because they've got quite a lot of energy. We're going to come in with the Zelf. It's going to be very difficult to make catches here. Confusion, a 4-turn fast move, but they full send the Earth Power here. So now we're going to swap, and the opponent does, I think, bank the energy. It doesn't really matter. They've got Marowak in the back. I recognize we're not even going to live a Bone Club, so I might as well just concede the match there. But GG's top opponent there into the next battle. We're going to see Clodsire in the lead, so once again, very good matchup for us. And again, I'm going to swap into my Uxie, catching what should be an Earthquake. It would be very surprising if they full send a Mega Horn here, but I don't expect many Clodsire to be running Mega Horn, although maybe it would be a pretty cool coverage move to run. But either way, going to go for a Swift. Swift is going to grab a shield from the Talonflame there, and that's the one thing I would say about this team, is a lot of opponents just didn't really know what charge moves I would be throwing. Sometimes that worked in my favor, sometimes it didn't really help me at all, actually probably worse for me. But either way, we are going to grab a shield there, gonna go for 1 confusion, fire off the Swift. Unfortunately, Swift probably won't quite get the KO from this range, and it doesn't get the KO, but they throw immediately. And now we can shield this, the confusion damage will register, and the next confusion will take them out before the incinerate damage registers, which is very nice. They come back in with Cloud's Eye. This time we are full sending the Blizzard. I think a mistake would be going for Swift because it wouldn't KO. Blizzard gets the one shot, and they've got a chestnut in the back, and that is perfect for us. Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, a lot of the times that I did win, it was because teams were double weak to confusion, and as a result, the opponent recognizing there's nothing they can do anymore, so they just concede the match. So GG's to opponent there into next battle, another dark type Pokemon in the lead. At least they are taking only single resisted damage from the confusions here. And this is another battle that I did fairly early on, as I am running Uxie in the lead. We're going to go and full send the Thunder because we're only going to make it to 1 charge move here. Thunder does some decent damage, and maybe it puts them into farm down range for the confusions on myself. So we're going to no shield. Akuto actually doesn't quite take us out there, so definitely need to swap out. There's no point giving them an extra Poison Sting in for free. They're going to go for a Crunch. Crunch doesn't debuff my attack, but unfortunately it doesn't really, my defense, but it doesn't really matter. We have no defense anyways, and you're going to see we're not going to get the damage registration error, which means we don't make it to the Swift. If we made it to the Swift there, honestly, we could be in for a win here up against a dark type Pokemon in the lead, but unfortunately we don't get there, so the opponent will outpace me to back-to-back Bone Clubs. I can swap, make a catch onto my Uxie, but it's not going to help me because we still can't go for a full confusion farm down, which means they will make it to another Bone Club here. We should just barely live this, but the damage is done. Bone Club very nearly takes us out there, and they actually had a chestnut in the back, so we could have beat this team if we were able to take out that Marowak a bit sooner, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be, and we do lose that game. But GG's to opponent there into the next battle. Going to see a Dugong in the lead, so this is a fairly neutral matchup for us. I'm going to throw the Swift straight away. This is bad timing, but I might as well throw it immediately here because I thought, well, either we might grab a shield since the opponent is going to be able to debuff our attack, but also even if we didn't grab a shield there, I wanted to throw before the opponent did debuff my attack there to deal more damage. Now we're going to come in with the Uxie here, clear the debuff. Of course, they can just debuff me again, but they come in with Toxapex, and this is a pretty big indication that, again, they're going to be double weak to Psychic in the back, so that's pretty good for us. And as well, Uxie is so bulky, they didn't farm up to the Sludge Wave here, so Brine not going to get the KO. We can commit to another Thunder, and the good thing about Thunder, as compared to like Blizzard and Fire Blast, we can get that after just 5 confusions, which compared to Blizzard and Fire Blast, it takes 7 confusions to get to, which is super painful. Honestly, on herself, I don't think I even managed to reach a Fire Blast a single time in any of these battles, so probably should have run Future Sight, and you will see in a future battle that Future Sight would have worked and actually would have got me the win. But GG's to our trainer there into the next battle. We're going to see Wigglytuff in the lead. So unfortunately, in the like 7 or so sets that I did with this team where I didn't see Dark type or Ghost type Pokemon, a lot of them were just Wigglytuff and then Double Ground. But they swap into Diggersby, they go for Fire Punch straight away, and I'm able to reach a Blizzard. Blizzard goes unshielded, it does huge damage, it gets the one shot, but I'm still not really in a great position here as they come back in with the Wigglytuff. They're probably going to go for an Icy Wind here, so I'm going to shield this up. Icy Wind will debuff my attack, and unfortunately, that's actually going to be pretty impactful here as we can go for a Swift. Swift will not be enough damage to get the KO. I tried to snipe with the confusion on itself, but we're not able to get it. They live with 1 HP and a Dream, and that is awful for me because now they've got a 2-shielded Shadow Kanto Marowak, and honestly, I actually don't think that charge move makes as much of a difference here just because they get a huge farm down, but actually Uxie pretty bulky. We can, as you'll see now, live at least 1 Bone Club here. Maybe I could have made it to back-to-back Swifts if they threw both their charge moves and shielded one of them, so maybe it would have been okay, but either way, unfortunately, we do end up losing, so GG's to that opponent there. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Drifblim in the lead, so this is very awkward for us. Now, if I throw straight away, it's very unlikely that they're going to shield, so instead, we're going to overfarm here. I'm going to shield, and another awkward thing about running Confusion is just it's so hard to like throw on good timing because typically against a 3-turn fast move, you want to throw 2 Confusions, but there were just very little circumstances where I could actually go for 2 Confusions. So in this case, I'm going to come in with the Uxie. They do debuff my attack there. I expected they probably weren't going to full send a Shadow Ball. They're now going to come in with a Shadow for Alligator, and it's not a Ghost type Pokemon, but I mean, it might as well be. It's running Shadow Claw. It's got Hydro Cannons or potentially even Crunch to throw up against my team. It is very difficult to deal with when I'm running this team, but either way, we are going to come in with the Elf here. I thought about trying to make a catch here, but It's very difficult. Again, confusion, hard to make catches up against a 2-turn fast move, but we do manage to catch the next one, which is very nice. Although I think they are still just one away from the next charge move. They swap into Drifblim. We do get the farm down here. I realize I cannot farm down that for Alligator, so I have to throw a Swift, and I need like the Pokemon that's like weakest to confusion in the back, and it is weak to confusion, but they can just Poison Sting, farm me down, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG Sopo there, into the next battle, we see Ariados in the lead, so a great lead matchup for us, but I'm thinking they're just going to swap straight away into a Drifblim. I can't remember what the third Pokemon is on this team, but it's just not looking very good for us at all. But we do grab that shield advantage with the Swift, and again, I just can't see them full sending a Shadow Ball here, so I'm going to no-shield, risky play, but they go for the Icy Wind, which I'm able to live, and I should live another Icy Wind here, so I'm going to no-shield once again, and I will still make it to a Thunder, so we grabbed a shield advantage with the Mesprit, and we make it to the Thunder. Thunder gets the KO. They come back in with Ariados. Unfortunately, we are double debuffed, so those confusions, they don't actually do that much damage there, but we've got a shield advantage. We come in with a Self, and they throw on very poor timing there, throwing as we get a full confusion in for free, and we are going to make it to a Swift because of that, so very poor timing there on the opponent's end. Swift grabs the final shield, we swap into our Mesprit, and they've got a Toxapex in the back, so this is actually looking very good for us. Swift is going to be no shielded. Actually, they've got no shields anyway, so they definitely couldn't shield that, and at this point we have to commit to a full confusion farm down, and once again, poor timing by the opponent. They full send a Sludge Wave, which is so unnecessary. A Self, super glassy, super attack weighted, wouldn't even live a brine there, but we win CMP up against Ariados. Swift gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG Sopo there. I reckon if they threw it on better timing and went straight for Brine, then we probably would have lost that, as they would have made it to a second charge move. But either way, into next battle, and more nightmarish leads for us as we see another dark type Pokemon. This time it's Guzzlord, and again we're not even going to reach a Blizzard, even though they're not even running Brutal Swing here. They're running Crunch, but I still wouldn't get there in time before they make it to the next Crunch. So instead we settle for the Swift. At least we do grab a shield there. We get them into the L health range, which honestly isn't that bad. We're going to CMP tie here. Not too bad for us. I can live a Crunch reasonably comfortably. If they get the debuff here, then they can probably farm me down, but they don't. So we're going to go for a Swift. Swift is going to be no-shielded. It doesn't really put them into confusion farm down range though, which is very awkward for us. I do make another Swift, but we've seen already Swift from Uxie specifically does such little damage, but we're now going to come in with the Azelf, I believe, and they don't throw straight away, so I'm expecting them to throw two moves and then throw the charge move there, so I'm able to make the catch there. As they go for a fly, we can come in with the Azelf. I didn't think there was any point in throwing because I can't confusion farm down the Guzzlord, so instead, I'm going to use my shield, go for the confusion farm down, but they've got Gastrodon in the back, so doesn't really matter at this point. I'm just going to, of course, let them throw a charge move here. They can go for a Body Slam. Body Slam takes us out, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG to opponent there. Into next battle, we're going to see Serperior in the lead. So this is a reasonably neutral matchup for us. The opponent is going to throw immediately though. So this can only be an Aerial Ace or potentially a Leaf Tornado. They go for Aerial Ace for some reason. I don't really know why that is. But either way, we're going to go for two Confusions, fire off the Swift, and then I will swap into my Uxie. Once again, the damage sponge for the team. Ideally, the game plan was to save shields for Azelf, but obviously, since we were seeing so many Dark-type Pokemon in the lead specifically as well, like, I just couldn't really play out that game plan in most battles. But here, I don't really know why the opponent's going for Rock Slide. Rock Slide, not as good a move as Drill Run in neutral situations. You should definitely go for Drill Run there. But either way, they're going to come back in with Serperior. I farmed two back-to-back Swifts. We're going to fire off the first one. Swift, not going to do much damage, but it grabs a shield there. The opponent probably wary that we either could be running Future Sight or just unaware of the coverage moves that we're running. I realized here I'm actually not going to be able to make it to another charge move, so I did think about swapping out, but luckily for me the opponent does panic. They throw a charge move, we can come in with the Azelf. We've got two shields here, I'm going to start using them. The opponent goes for a Frenzy Plant, and they come in with a Shadow for Alligator. Now at this point I'm thinking I can probably reach back-to-back Swifts with the Azelf here, so I'm going to stay in. I get a health reminder saying like, oh, you've been gaming for 2 hours, go outside and have a walk. Like, bro, this is my job, let me just play this game. Like, we've got a gaming phone specifically to game on it. Why are you telling me to stop gaming? Either way, we go for a Swift though. Swift gets the KO. We're able to Confusion, farm down the Serperior, and I'm able to take that game. So GG so opponent there into next battle, going to see a Dunsparce in the lead. So another neutral matchup for us. And again, a situation where it's just so hard to throw on good timing because here they go for 5 rollouts, but it's only going to be 2 more rollouts to make it to the next charge move. So I can't go for 2 confusions because otherwise they could just outpace me to the next move and throw a charge move. So instead, I'm stuck going for 1 confusion, then firing off the charge move. Now I swap into my Uxie, damage sponge, and they come in with a Decidueye. Like, what on earth is this thing doing here? Unfortunately, going to completely wall the energy as well, which is definitely not ideal for us. Maybe I could have baited, but unfortunately, because I was locked in there on the CMP tie, we go for the Thunder, which gets shielded anyways. If we went for Swift, I could have made it to another Swift. Not that that really matters because Swift doesn't do much damage at all into a Ghost type Pokemon, especially from Uxie. But since they throw straight away, we can come in with the Azelf, go for a full Confusion Farm down, but the opponent very smart, actually swapping out of that matchup there, saving the Decidueye. We go for the Swift, and unfortunately we can't get the Confusion Farm down either. We swap into Mesprit. I didn't realize that I had no shields remaining, so yeah, that didn't really help me as they can go for a full Shadow Claw farm down, and we do lose that game. But GG to opponent there into next battle, going to see Mandibuzz in the lead, so this is very awkward for us, and again, just so slow to make it to Blizzard. If they want to, they can just go straight Dark Pulse, and they can reach 2 Dark Pulses before we get to the charge move, so instead, I'm actually going to swap into my Uxie. And yeah, maybe that's not a very good decision here because I'm not going to make it to a Thunder before they make it to the next charge move. So instead, I'm going to settle for a Swift. Swift, not going to do much damage whatsoever, but the opponent does overfarm quite substantially, and they have to go for Dark Pulse to get the KO here. Aerial Ace will not take us out, and so I'm able to make it to another Swift. Now, Swift, not going to do much damage, but it does kill the Switch Clock. We can come back in with the Mesprit, and we can go for back-to-back Swifts here. So Swift, number 1, grabs the shield. We make it to Swift, number 2. Swift, number 2 is going to grab the final shield from the Mandibuzz. So opponent probably realizing at this point that we are running the full Lake Guardian trio. So they go for a Dark Pulse. We can come in with a Zelf, and by the time I make it to a Swift, I'm hoping because the Zelf is much more attack weighted, we can get the KO. So I'm going to shield this up. The opponent goes for a Dark Pulse. We are going to go for the Swift as soon as we get there, but they are running a Drapion, so they've got double Dark here. Opponent is just toying with me at this point because I'm thinking, you know what, once we get rid of the Mandibuzz, maybe we've got a chance, but nope, they had a second Dark type, so I'm just going to concede the match there. We tried to make the catch, it doesn't work out for us, but GG's to the opponent there. Into next battle, another Wigglytuff in the lead, so probably going to be double Mud Slap in the back or Diggersby. They swap into Marowak, so it's probably going to be Gastrodon, as otherwise they'd probably swap into the Diggersby if they were running Diggersby. Now I'm able to make it to back-to-back Swifts here. Swift gets them fairly low, and I'm hoping that we can shield once and then go for a full Confusion farm down. But this will depend. If the opponent gets damage registration error, they would make it to another charge move, but luckily for me, they don't. So we're going to fire for charge move here. You could argue that maybe we should have gone for 1 Confusion first, but I just wanted to get the damage off before they debuff my attack with an Icy Wind, and I'm not planning on shielding, so it doesn't really make a difference. But this is going to be very difficult for us because if it is going to be Gastrodon in the back, of course, they're going to deal a lot of fast move pressure with the Wigglytuff, with the Gastrodon. We're going to go for a Swift. I'm hoping this gets the KO from this range, and it does take them out. They're going to come in with the Gastrodon, but we're still in a very sticky situation. But the opponent throws on poor timing, throwing on alignment, giving me a full Confusion in for free. The awkward thing here is, though, if I throw, I'm not going to be able to make that catch as they will go for an extra Mud Slap, but now I need to throw 3 charge moves before they make it to the next charge move, and that's just not going to happen here, as we can go for 2 Confusions, throw on good timing, but they should be at the Body Slam at this point, so they should be winning CMP. But the opponent doesn't realize we're at back-to-back charge moves. They commit to the Mud Slap farm down, getting too confident there, and I'm able to go for the Swift, get the KO up against the Gastrodon, and I'm somehow able to take that game. But GG to opponent there into the next battle, going to see Ferrothorn in the lead, so this is not very good for us at all. Of course, Ferrothorn going to resist everything on my team aside from Blizzard and Fire Blast, so definitely not ideal for us. And again, we're not able to make it to a Blizzard before they reach back-to-back charge moves, so at this point I kind of have to just full send the Blizzard. There is no point baiting here. We full send the Blizzard, and the opponent does let that go through, which is very nice, but they've got Skeledirge, so we're going to swap into Uxie. I'm hoping I can grab a shield here, as again, maybe the opponent doesn't know what charge moves we're running, and we do grab a shield. The opponent has to full send a Shadow Shadow Ball here as Uxie, very bulky, and the opponent does go for that Shadow Ball, which definitely isn't ideal for us, but maybe we've got a chance here. The opponent is going to stay in with the Skeledirge. Of course, this is a very good matchup for them. If they go for the Shadow Ball again, I should be able to go for a full Confusion farm down though, and they do go for the Shadow Ball. Confusion gets the farm down, and we don't take the Incinerate damage, and they've got Clodsire in the back, and that is huge for us, but I make a big mistake here. I should have just farmed up 2 back-to-back Swifts. Instead, we don't. We go slightly over, and as a result, I'm not able to make it to a charge move on the Mesprit. They go for Stone Edge, it gets the KO, but again, we're not able to make it to the Fire Blast as it costs too much energy. And back-to-back Swifts, we're not able to get there as one Poison Sting gets the KO, and unfortunately we do lose that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.